Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Yeah, you know something? I gotta go with this one first, even though it's not on our hit list today. I just saw this one, and it brought back some memories of days long ago. National Power Rangers Day. So for those of you of that age group, I'm just going to throw this out there. Josh, was this your age? Was this your yeah, Josh was in that one as well. So, you know, if you're 30, 35, I guess that's kind of the age group in there. National Power Rangers Day. If you're old like me, do you remember the Power Rangers? Do you remember those Transformers that the young people really played with? They went crazy with those. Probably, what's that, the early part of the 90s, somewhere in that range, early to mid 90s. I was in the import-export business. We brought in something that looked very similar to a Power Ranger. I think Tommy was the green one. I think that was the one that was Eric's favorite. The green, yeah. Josh is telling me, man, I guess I haven't lost everything in the old marbles yet. National Bow Tie Day today. I don't think we're going to go with that one. We'll skip. When I left Merrill Lynch, I left all the ties behind. If there's any way that I can get on without a tie, I am not putting a tie on. I don't like it. But there's some good stuff today. We've got National, what's the Turnover Day? I know there's a turnover in there. So cherry turnover. You know, Josh, you'll probably, why would they put on National Cherry Turnover Day today? Shouldn't that be, February when we used to celebrate Washington's birthday? Okay, Jim Norton says he remembers bow ties. Yeah, that's because Jim's old like me, so he's goes way, way back. National Cherry Turnover Day. No, I'm not talking about going to McDonald's. We're not doing that. I'm talking about real cherry turnovers with some whipped cream on them, please. Okay, and Jim, if you're still on the line, here it is. Today is National Red Wine Day. National Red Wine Day. And I will admit, I messed up this morning. I did not send Josh the question of the day. I blew it. I know. So let's put this question in there, Josh. What's your favorite red wine? What is your favorite red wine? I like red wines. So I don't know about you. Well, today I got to be careful today. My wife, so today's her birthday, so that's a nice one. I don't know about adding it to your coffee. Ooh, that's a little tough, Jim. Adding it to your coffee, I don't know about that part. But okay, so here, Red wine. My wife and I have completely different tastes in wine. We both like red. I know that if I like it, she won't. She knows that if she likes it, I won't. When we're in the restaurants, we get, obviously what she likes. When I go to the store, I buy what I like. The wine clubs are what I like. But here's I'll throw this one out there. If you haven't tried this, if you can find it, it's not easy to find. The Turley wines, they have a Merlot that's the Peter Uberoth vineyard. So he's got his own vineyard there. Turley makes the wine out of his vineyard. Very, very good wine. Comes out of Paso Robles. I am not a fan of Napa. I know there's a lot of people that say Napa is the place to go. Not for me. I can go to Paso Robles. It's half the travel time. Wine, in my opinion, is better, and it's not as expensive. I don't have to pay a lot, and I can get better goods. Isn't that the way you do it? Isn't that the right idea? So the Uberoth Vineyard, Austin Hope, I do like his Cabernet. That's a good one. Daily drinkers, Opolo makes some good daily drinkers. For fun wines, Tobin James. They make a bunch of some good wines, and they're budget wines, a lot of fun wines. So Tobin James is the answer there. Put in the chat, what's your favorite wine? Do you like red wine? Yes or no? What's your favorite red wine? Put it in the chat. We see that if you're listening to us live. So for those of you listening to us live, we record the broadcast around 9 in the morning, and we do it on our social channels. Josh puts everything together, makes it sound good, and we ship it off to our affiliates so they can play it at our contracted times. If you are listening on ABC News and Talk, just say it in your car. What's your favorite red wine? I hear those. I hear the comments. So you can say it in the car. If you're wearing a mask, I won't be able to hear you. I'm sorry. But that's a whole different story. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. It's all watching for what's going to go on with NVIDIA. We'll talk about that in a minute. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 166 points. The S&P 500 is down 34. NASDAQ down 196. Oil down 70 cents a barrel. Watching it all. Let's also see the gasoline, $4.62 a gallon here in the former Golden State. Yes. We are still one of only 3 states that are over $4 a gallon. $4.62 in California, $4.66 in Hawaii. Josh is $3.96, less we always talk about the extra $0.50 that because they've got so many rural areas there in Nevada. You go into Vegas area, my Costco station that I go to when I go to Vegas, it's probably somewhere around $3.50 a gallon, $3.45 a gallon, just my guess. But it's amazing. We're still watching that. Still probably going to blame the oil companies, although you never know. Let's see what else is going on in the world. We're going to talk about what's going on in the mortgage market. We're going to talk about what's going on in interest rates. I had a conversation with a whole group of loan officers last Monday, and I was sharing with them that we can show you how to get your current mortgage. So you have a current mortgage at 4%. You want it at 2%? You got a current mortgage at 6%. Want it at 4%? Got a current mortgage at 8%. Want it at 6%? We can take 2 points to show you how to get 2 points off that effective rate. And we'll cut down the term for you as well. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. What did the mortgage rates do yesterday? Well, most of them were up. We'll talk about it. Conventional 30-year fixed rate up 6.358. Jumbo 30-year fixed, that was down 6.653. FHA 30-year fixed up 6.152. VA 30-year fixed up 5.773. USDA 30-year fixed up 6.134. And yes, I can show you how to shave 2 points off of any of those anytime you want. The bank doesn't have a say in it. And it's not going to cost you the whole lot. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. If you want our market commentary, rsrmarketminute.com. rsrmarketminute.com. We send that out each and every business morning as early as the data allows. rsrmarketminute.com. What's happening today in the mortgage market? Well, let's take a look and see. Well, we've got the the S&P 500 is down 36 points right now. It's down 36 on the S&P 500. We've got the 10-year Treasury. We watched that one for you. Remember, when we talk about the yields, the rates here, 10-year Treasury, we talk about interest rate, the yield on that. And that one is at 3.83 flat. We've got the mortgage-backed securities. Now we're talking about the bond. That one is up 4 basis points, which means interest rates are down ever so slightly. And then we look and we say, why? Well, here it is. We've got the reports from the Mortgage Bankers Association reported that interest rates remained just under 6.5% last week, and we're roughly at 7/8 lower than this time last year. Even though rates have been on the decline, purchase volume only rose 1% last week and is still down 9% year over year. There are many in the media trying to make a point that the drop in rates has not helped the purchase market, showing weakness in housing. However, they are not contemplating that it takes time. Buyers need to be convinced that rates will stay lower. Then it takes time to look for homes in this tough inventory environment. And once they put in an application, there are lags before it shows up in the numbers. Purchases were impacted positively by the drop in rates, but it may not show up for weeks or months. That's the whole issue. Refinance activity was flat, but is still up a strong 85% compared to last year. Refinance has made up almost 47% of total application volume. Make sure you're organizing your database or your finances. What we're doing right now for our clients is we're putting together a dashboard for every one of the private clients, and it's going to have where their rates are, where their rates could be, where all of their financial advisors, their household board of directors, all of them go on the dashboard, and we put a weekly update as to what's going on the market. If you want to get one of those, it's our mortgage adoption program. All you have to do is send a message, RJ at ronsiegelradio.com, RJ at ronsiegelradio.com. Job revision data. So we've talked a lot about job revision data, and there's been talk that the 18,000 in the BLS jobs revision from March 2023 to March 2024 was overstated because during that time there were immigrant workers who were working under the table. Yes, illegal immigrants, and not captured. Might be true. Certainly did not make up for all the revisions, and the BLS still grossly overstated job growth. But If you were to count those workers, even though there is not hard data to support it, you'd also have to count all the immigrants in the unemployed ranks and labor force. This would cause unemployment rate to be much higher. Additionally, the undocumented workers are getting paid less than legal workers on the books, and that also means the average hourly and weekly earnings are overstated, and there is much less wage pressure and inflation than what's been reported. Two sides of the coin, folks. You don't get to just take the side that you like. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. One of my favorite loans on the market, as you know, the Home Select program, because it saves you so much money and interest. But there are those people that just don't qualify for the Home Select product. So how do we save you money? Because you know strategy beats rate always. So let's just go and take a look at that $750,000 loan that you have at its current interest rate of what you paid. Probably, if you bought it in the last 2 years, probably 7.5%. Now, let's see what it takes for us to get. I mentioned to you about shaving 2% off of that, right? Want to shave 2% off of that interest rate and see what that does for you? Let's take a look and see what if I can come up with the number for it. We're gonna take. So here's what we do: is we look at the numbers and figure out, okay, where are we going to do? What do we need to do? Now, you can always buy down interest rates. You know that. We've talked about that on Ron Siegel Radio in the past. If you're a regular listener, you know that you can just buy down interest rates when you take out the loan. Now, you can't buy down interest rates after you've had the loan, but you're still in control. You control all of it. How? That's the question mark. So what I'm looking at here is, I'm just going to go with 460. So let's just take a look and see if I can figure this out. That'll work. So you've got a current loan and you're making a current payment. Let's just hypothetically, no APRs. We're just educating you here. Let's say last month or 2 months ago, you took out a loan at 7.5%, $750,000 loan. 7.5%. You probably got it less than that, but just for educational purposes, we're going to do this number at 7.5%. Well, you say, Ron, I want to shave 2%. Now that 7.5%, you were paying $52.44 principal and interest. Again, no APR. I'm educating you here. The expenses are going to be the same on either way if they're done right. Now, what if you just say, Ron, I want to have a 5.5% interest rate. I can get you 5.46. Whoa. Pay an extra $460 a month towards your loan each and every month. So now your payment goes from $52.44 to $57.04. Now, here's the beauty of this. We're going to cut almost 7 years off of your repayment, which gets you that effective interest rate of 5.46. And oh, by the way, it's going to save you $308,889 in interest. $308,889 in interest. You can do that anytime you want to do that. There are no payment police that say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you can't make an extra payment. If you want to know your numbers, I'm more than happy to put them into our handy dandy calculator and show you. Now, what do you do with that extra money every month for those 7 years? Well, as part of our dashboard that we put together for you and our household board of directors, you take that money, $57.04, and you start giving it to one of the financial advisors. Now, when we put together the advisory team, what we're going to look at for you is we're going to say, do you have a financial advisor? Let's rate them 1 to 10. I don't allow 7s because that's a cop-out. That's just like, it's like getting a C in school, right? You're not good. You're not bad. You got it done. Well, that's not good enough. That's your money. I want everybody to have 9s and 10s. So if you have an 8, 9, or 10, we're gonna nothing to do, nothing to see here. If you tell me 6 or below, or you don't have somebody, I'm gonna say, okay, once we have our consultation and know what makes sense for you, I want to introduce you to one of the members of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. And we'll end up putting that person's name and contact information right on your dashboard. Do you have your estate, your trust in place? If you own real estate, especially in California, you need a trust. Who's your trust attorney? We're going to put them. Household board of directors. You don't have a 9 or 10? Want one? We'll introduce you. Insurance people, accounting people. We got them all. And we're putting together a database of those 9s and 10s. And we're going to interview some of those folks, and we'll see once we interview them, then we can say, okay, whenever we get somebody that fits the criteria that we identified in that interview, we just play matchmaker. No, you don't have to swipe right or swipe left. Don't worry about that stuff, because I don't understand that part. You know, that's a millennial thing. Gen Z. I actually talked to somebody during the week, and he told me, sorry, Ron, I'm not a millennial. I'm a Gen Z. And they still know more than I know about some of this computer stuff. Thankfully, Josh is there taking care of it for us in the background. Good stuff, though. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we've got a great lineup here for you still. What's the impact of presidential elections on the housing market? Housing mortgage forecast, what do we expect? Who could check your credit after you add freeze, lock, or a fraud alert? All that and more. Reach me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. What's the impact of presidential elections on the housing market? No surprise that the upcoming presidential election might have you speculating about what's ahead. And those unanswered thoughts can quickly spiral, causing fear and uncertainty to swirl through your mind. So if you've been considering buying or selling a home this year, you're probably curious about what the election might mean for the housing market and if it's still a good time to make your move. Here's the good news that may surprise you. Typically, presidential elections have only had a small, temporary impact on the housing market. But your questions are definitely worth answering, so you don't have to pause your plans in the meantime. Here's a look at decades of data that show exactly what happens to home sales prices, mortgage rates in previous presidential election cycles, so you can move forward with facts as you weigh the pros and cons of your home ownership decision. And again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of the socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you are going to see a bunch of charts. In the month leading up to presidential election from October to November, there's typically a slight slowdown in home sales. Okay, so we're looking at that chart right there about the slowdown. Let me see if I can make this a little larger on my screen so old eyes can see it. Let's see, slight, what's that say? Darn, I can't see it anyway. Some consumers will simply wait it out before they make their purchase decision. However, it's important to know this slowdown is small and temporary. Historically, home sales bounce right back and continue to rise the following year. In fact, data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the National Association of Realtors shows after nine of the last 11 presidential elections, home sales went up the year after the election, and it's been happening consistently since the early 1990s. So it looks to me, if I'm able to see this chart here, that there are only 2 times going back in time after 1981 and after 1989. We saw home sales went down. Other than that, existing home sales are up. 1984, 1992, 1996, 2000, 2004, 8, 12, 16, and 20. Home sales up every one of those years. Home prices. You may also be wondering about home prices. Do prices come down during election years? Not typically. As residential appraiser and housing analyst Ryan Lindquist notes, quote, An election year doesn't alter the price trend that is already happening in the market, unquote. Home prices generally rise over time regardless of an election cycle. So based on what history shows, you can expect the current price trend in your market to likely continue, barring any unusual market or economic circumstances. The latest data from the National Association of Realtors reveals that after 7 of the past 8 presidential elections, home prices increased the following year. Can we guess which year they didn't? Most of us remember 2008, and it was not a fond memory. Existing home prices went up after 7 of the past 8 presidential elections. Only 2008 or 2009 was it that it didn't. The only outlier, 2008, 2009, which is during the height of the housing market crash. That was certainly not a typical year. Today's market, however, is much more resilient. And while prices are moderating nationally, they aren't on an overall decline. Mortgage rates. The third thing that's likely on your mind is mortgage rates, since they impact your monthly payment if you're financing a home. Looking at the last 11 presidential election years, data from Freddie Mac shows mortgage rates decreased from July to November in 8 of them. Again, a chart is on the screen. 8 of 11, 1980, 1992, and 2016, mortgage rates decreased leading up to the presidential elections. And this year, we've already started to see that happen. Most experts also forecast mortgage rates will ease slightly throughout the rest of 2024. If that happens, all signs right now indicate it should. This year will continue to follow the trend of declining rates. So if you're looking to buy a home in the coming months, this could be great news for your purchasing power. What this means for you. The big takeaway, while presidential elections do have some impact on the housing market, the effects are usually minimal. As Lisa Sturdivant, chief economist for Bright MLS, says, quote, historically, the housing market does not tend to look very different in presidential election years compared to other years, unquote. For most buyers and sellers, elections don't have a major impact on their plans. Bottom line, while it's natural to feel a bit uncertain during an election year, history shows the housing market remains strong and resilient, and this means you don't have to pause your plans in the meantime. For help navigating the market during this election cycle, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. As you know, I lead a lending team, but I also know a lot of great real estate professionals anywhere in the sound of my voice. I guess I shouldn't say that as much because we're getting an audience that's outside the U.S. So I know agents almost everywhere in the United States. We can put you in touch with them anywhere, and we can show you several strategies. I should tell you that's That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. So if you are thinking about selling your house, buying a house, I told you in the last segment how to get the effective interest rate, whatever you want it to be. We showed you how to do that. If you missed it, sorry. But this show will be put right back on our social media channels, so that helps you. But get the game plan in order. That's the most important thing. Start off. You want to make sure your credit scores are in good shape. Cleanall3.com. Cleanall3.com will help you make sure your credit scores are in shape. Monitor your scores. You can see what your true FICO is. Cleanall3.com. Then what you want to do is make sure you're making your credit card payments the best way possible to maximize your scores for FICO purposes. rsrccpayment.com. rsrccpayment.com. Get those FICO scores in line. Get those paid the right way for FICO scoring purposes. Want to sell your house? rsrlinks.com/salesmax. rsrlinks.com/salesmax. That's going to show you how to get the maximum from your house sale. Now, I'm going to tell you that there are probably 98%, I would say, of the real estate agents around the country have no idea how to use the commissions that we talk about in this program, in that video, in that training, rsrlinks.com/salesmax. 98% of the real estate agents don't know the strategy that we share with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of realtors around the country on using the commissions to motivate real estate agents and buyers agents to get you top dollar for your house. Yes, we motivate the real estate community to push your house above all the others. How do we do it? You pay them. It's real simple. Real estate professionals are commission-based individuals. Don't sell a house, don't get paid. Sell a house, get paid. Sell a house for more money, make more money. Sell a house for more money the right way, the sellers get more money. Net. rsrlinks.com/salesmax. So we can do a consultation with you for any area in the country. Doesn't matter. The strategy works anywhere. Then what we do is we put you in touch with a real estate professional in that area that understands what we're doing. They can take the process from there. And it's very, very simple. That agent will understand how we reference and we get that most money for you by you giving an incentive to buyers agents. You incentivize them to push your property. And will it work? Yes. Does it work every time? Almost. But here's the kicker. If it doesn't, we guarantee it will. We give you a guarantee that our strategy will work. I don't need to see your house to know the strategy is going to work. I don't need to see the condition of your house to know the strategy will work. I just know the strategy. I know marketing. I can show you how to make it work. Not that hard. All you have to do is set up an appointment with us. Ron at RonSiegelRadio.com, Ron at RonSiegelRadio.com. Take about 30 minutes. I'll walk you through it, put you in touch with the right agent for it, and you're good to go. Not that hard. Not that hard if you know what you're doing. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, 2025 housing market forecast. We're going to talk about that one. We're going to also talk about who can check your credit after you add a freeze, lock, or fraud alert to your account. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Who can check your credit after you add a freeze, lock, or fraud alert? One way criminals steal money is by opening new credit accounts in someone else's name. If you think someone has your personal information, you can use credit freezes, credit locks, or fraud alerts to help protect you from fraud. However, credit freezes and credit locks don't completely block access to your credit reports or FICO scores. Credit freezes versus credit locks versus fraud alert. Credit freezes, locks, and alerts, all protective measures, but each option works differently. Credit freezes, also called security freezes, limit access to your credit reports. You can add or remove freezes for free anytime, but you need to manage your credit freezes at each of the bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion separately. Credit locks limit access to your credit reports, similar to credit freezes, but credit locks generally a feature that comes with a free or paid account at one of the credit bureaus. Fraud alerts. A fraud alert doesn't limit access to your credit report. Instead, it tells creditors that you may be a victim of identity theft and that they should take extra steps to verify your identity before opening a new account. You can add a fraud alert to one of your credit reports, and the bureau will forward your request to the other two. Credit freezes and locks are two options that limit who can access your credit report. When your credit report is frozen or locked, the bureaus won't release it to creditors that are making lending decisions. The creditor might automatically deny the application if you can't see your credit history or get a FICO score based on the report, even if you're the one applying. As a result, credit freezes and locks can protect you from fraudulent applications, but you also want to unfreeze or unlock your reports before submitting a legitimate application. It's often a quick and easy process, and you can unfreeze report temporarily and then automatically refreeze the report to keep yourself protected. Who can access your frozen or locked credit reports? Although credit freezes and locks limited access to your credit reports, the credit bureaus can still send your report and FICO score to certain individuals and organizations. These include you. You can always check your own credits, reports, and FICO scores. Your current creditors, your lenders and card issuers can also continue to check your credit, which they might do to help manage your account. For example, your card issuer might increase your credit card's credit limit if it notices your FICO score improved. Certain government officials, government agencies, and employees might still be able to see your credit report if specific situations, such as when there's a court order, warrant, or subpoena. A landlord or property management company might want to check your credit and FICO scores before offering you a rental home or setting your security deposit amount. Insurance companies in some states. Insurance companies can review your credit reports and credit-based insurance scores to help determine who to offer policies to and the premiums to charge. Telecom and utility providers. Your credit history and FICO score may also affect your options when you want to get a new phone or utility account. Employers can sometimes check someone's credit report before offering them a job or promotion. However, employment and background screening reports don't come with FICO scores. Other companies that aren't making lending decisions, companies may also access frozen credit reports for identity verification, debt collection, and marketing purposes. However, you can opt out of getting pre-approved credit offers from companies at optoutprescreen.com. Optoutprescreen.com. Everybody should be registered with optoutprescreen.com. Regardless of whether your credit report is frozen, only people and organizations who have a legally defined permissible purpose can get copies of your credit report. Is freezing your credit worth it? Freezing your credit won't completely block access to your credit report or FICO score, and you'll need to remember to unfreeze your reports before applying for a new credit card or loan, but it's still a free and easy way to help protect yourself from credit fraud. Additionally, you can freeze your reports at other consumer reporting agencies to help you protect yourself from other types of fraud. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Real-time real estate brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. 2025 housing market forecasts. What to expect. Looking ahead to 2025, it's important to know what experts are projecting for the housing market and whether you're thinking of buying or selling a home next year. Having a clear picture of what they're calling for can help you make the best possible decision for your home ownership plans. Here's an early look at the most recent projections on mortgage rates, home sales, and prices for 2025. Mortgage rates are projected to come down slightly. Mortgage rates play a significant role in the housing market. The forecast for 2025 from Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, MBA, the NAR, National Association of Realtors, Wells Fargo, show an expected gradual decline in mortgage rates over the course of the next year. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, ABC, News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you're seeing a chart of mortgage rates and what Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, NAR, Wells Fargo all have to say about where the rates are going. They're all showing that we're going to see rates by the end of 2025 in the fives. All of them. Well, NAR says 6.3. Mortgage rates are projected to come down because continued easing of inflation and a slight rise in unemployment rates are key signs of a strong but slowing economy. And many experts believe these signs will encourage the Federal Reserve to lower the Fed funds rate, which tends to lead to lower mortgage rates. As Morgan Stanley says, quote, with the U.S. Federal Reserve widely expected to begin cutting its benchmark interest rate in 2024, mortgage rates could drop as well, at least slightly, unquote. Expect more homes to sell. The market will see an increase in both the supply of available homes on the market as well as a rise in demand as more buyers and sellers who have been sitting on the sidelines because of higher rates choose to make a move. That's one big reason why experts are projecting an increase in home sales next year. According to Fannie Mae, MBA, and NAR, total home sales are forecasted to climb slightly, with an average of about 5.4 million homes expected to sell in 2025. That would represent a modest uptick from the lower sales numbers in 23 and 24. For reference, about 4.8 million total homes were sold in 2023, and expectations are for around 4.5 million homes to sell this year. While slightly lower mortgage rates are not expected to bring a flood of buyers back to the market, they certainly will get more people moving. That means more homes available for sale and competition among buyers who want to purchase them. Home prices will go up moderately. More buyers ready to jump into the market will put continued upward pressure on prices. Take a look at the latest price forecasts from 10 of the most trusted sources in real estate. Wow, we got the gang right there, don't we? So we've got Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, home price expectation survey of over 100 of the gurus, Fannie Mae, Morgan Stanley, MBA, Zelman and Associates, the National Association of Realtors, Freddie Mac, and Moody's Analytics. All of them coming up with their own numbers, and let's see what they all have to say. On average, experts forecast home prices will rise nationally by about 2.6% next year. But as you can see, there's a range of opinions on how much prices will climb. Experts agree, however, that home prices will continue to increase moderately next year at a slower, more normal rate. But keep in mind, prices will always vary by local market. If you want to know what's going on in your market, we give it to you for free. rsrsaleslink.com/market report. rsrsaleslink.com/market report. You can go in there, put your zip code in there, and they'll get you a report just for your zip code or your county. It's all there. Understanding 2025 housing market forecasts can help you plan your next move. Whether you're buying or selling, staying informed about these trends will ensure you make the best decision possible. Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We'll see what we can do to help you get your goals accomplished in real estate. And yes, as I mentioned earlier, I know people in almost anywhere in the country, maybe not everywhere, but almost everywhere in the country. We know people that we can put you in touch with. All you've got to do is make the call. Also, that's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Don't get baffled, though, when you're listening to the presidential election. When Vice President Harris talks about a $25,000 first-time home buyer credit, number one, the government doesn't give you money. They take money from somebody to give to you. They increase your taxes to give the money back to you. Doesn't make much sense, but that's the way the government works. But here's the thing. If they put a big incentive on buyers, we don't need any more buyers right now. We've got an abundance of buyers. If they understood this, they would be putting money on motivation to sell because we need more homes for sale. Instead of doing a $25,000 first-time home buyer's credit, do a $25,000 credit for selling your house instead of doing 25% tax on your house that you already live in, even if you don't sell it. Part of the items on the vice president's agenda. Just saying that out there to keep you informed. Good, bad, I don't know. It's up to you. As always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.